Hello everyone, I still remain your favorite nurse midwife, Nurse Jane. Subscribe to my YouTube channel following the link on the screen to get daily tips of healthy living and more information about your body. In today's episode, we're going to talk about rupture of the uterus, which is also known as the womb. Yes, do you know that your womb can get ruptured? So we're going to talk about it for you to get more insight of how it really happens. Follow me as I go for a short break to continue when we come back. Rupture of the uterus is a life-threatening and very serious condition that can be fatal to the baby and also to the mother. It can actually be prevented when cautions are taken during antenatal period and intrapartum period. When I talk about antenatal period, what do I mean? Antenatal period is from the time of conception to the time of delivery, while the intrapartum period is during childbirth, when the baby is being given birth to. When we talk about the types of rupture of the uterus. But before we go to the types, I want to give you an overview of what the womb looks like. The womb, as shown on the screen, is a pear-shaped hollow muscular organ that is located in the true pelvis. It is part of the female reproductive system, and its sole responsibility is to house the fertilized ovum till delivery. The womb has three layers. The outer layer, which is known as the perimetrium, the middle layer, which is known as the myometrium, and it's also the muscle layer, and the inner layer, which is known as the endometrium, where the baby implants. And when we're talking about rupture of this uterus, it means that these walls are broken, they are torn apart. Now let's go to the types of uterine rupture. There are two types of uterine rupture. Number one, we have the complete uterine rupture. In complete uterine rupture, we have it that the wall of the uterus tears apart with or without expulsion of the fetus. In other words, it means that the uterus is torn, but it's possible that the fetus is still inside, or in most cases, the baby will be pushed out from the womb. Number two, incomplete rupture of the membrane. The wall of the uterus gets torn, except the perimetrium. Remember when I mentioned the layers of the walls of the uterus, I mentioned the perimetrium. The perimetrium is the outer layer. So in incomplete rupture of the uterus, the perimetrium doesn't get torn, but the endometrium, which is the inner layer, and the myometrium gets torn. So what do you think happens when a woman that has a womb and has been carrying a child from conception and suddenly the womb tears? What do you think happens? The woman must surely start bleeding. There will be bleeding, which makes this condition a life-threatening and a serious condition that needs expert management. So what are the causes of rupture of the uterus? What do you think is the cause of rupture of the womb? Does the womb tear on its own? Can it happen that way? Number one, when there is previous surgery in the uterus situation where a woman has undergone 3 previous cesarean sections, her healthcare providers usually advise her not to attempt vaginal delivery. Why? Because the womb will keep contracting. The muscle layer of the uterus will keep contracting until the baby is being expelled. And remember, a cut has been given in that womb 3 times or 2 good times, which will also affect contraction, and tear can happen from there. So previous uterine surgery. Secondly, we have neglected labor, where labor is not managed properly. especially when a woman goes to a traditional birth attendant where labor is not properly managed. You will see a woman having ruptured uterus. Thirdly, high parity. What do I mean by high parity? High parity means that a woman has given birth to a good number of children. This womb has been carrying children from conception to delivery, and this womb is predisposing itself to rupture. Fourthly, the use of uterotonics. The use of uterotonics, if it is not being used effectively and efficiently, can cause uterine rupture. The fifth point is obstructed labor. And one of the major causes of obstructed labor is cephalopelvic disproportion. Cephalopelvic disproportion simply means that the baby's head and the pelvis are not matching. It might be that the pelvis is too small for the baby's head to pass through. That means the passenger cannot pass through the passage. So it can make the uterus to keep contracting, because at that point of onset of labor, the work the uterus understands at that point is contraction. So the uterus will keep contracting to expel the product of conception. This will cause continuous uterine contraction, which can also predispose the woman to having uterine rupture. So as a healthcare professional, what are the signs you see during intrapartum phase? That is signs of intrapartum rupture of the membrane. There is fresh vaginal bleeding. The woman complains of severe abdominal pain. Number 3, increased maternal pulse rate. The woman's pulse rate increases very fast. Baby's fetal heart begins to depreciate. If a fetal heart was 145, you see it going down to 130, 120. It begins to depreciate. You see contraction might stop. And the contour of the womb becomes irregular. Yes, because the womb has ruptured and the baby has been pushed out or still inside. That's when we talk about the complete. The layers of the uterus have been ruptured. It's either the baby is inside or is outside. While incomplete, the layers is being broken except the perimetrium. So in the management of this situation, what do you think happens? And remember, at the point where a woman's womb gets ruptured, there's bleeding. The life of the woman and the life of the baby is at risk. There's a possibility of shock, and the woman can collapse. During management, the first and immediate management to handle this situation is to do an emergency cesarean section. An emergency cesarean section will help save the life of the mother, and which will also give us hope of procuring an alive baby. Once the baby and the placenta is being delivered, the surgeon goes ahead to assess the extent of the tear to know whether to suture the wound back or to do hysterectomy. Hysterectomy, that's removal of the womb, to tell you that a minor condition, a situation as this, can cause a woman to lose her womb. It can cause a woman to lose her womb. A woman that has a womb from conception has been carrying a baby till term at the point of delivery, because of neglected labor management, because of the use of uterotonics, because of scars, previous uterine surgeries, the woman did not do what is expected of. The woman can lose her womb within seconds. So when the surgeon assesses the tear and is fair enough to suture, the surgeon goes ahead to suture the womb back. And there are cases of uterine rupture that has happened, and testimonies of the woman being able to carry another child and give birth to the baby successfully. So if the tear is very extensive, that means the womb will be removed. Blood will be replaced because the woman will lose a lot of blood. The baby, if baby makes it, baby will be resuscitated. So to avoid all this, I, as a registered nurse midwife, advocate for pregnant women to access a good healthcare institution from the point of conception to the time of delivery. It will help prevent any form of danger. And even if there is danger, there are facilities in place to help tackle the situation. If you're still following me to this time, that means you're really with me. And I'll appreciate if you watch, comment, like, and subscribe. I still remain your favorite nurse midwife, Nurse Jane. I have more interesting topics to bring to you. Continue caring for yourself